everybody, today we've made it. It is Friday. Whoop whoop. Hooray, hooray, hooray. Hope you're looking forward to your weekends ahead. This is my last live of the week, so thought I would come and join you with something a little bit controversial today for you to think about. So my question to you is, who do you hate? Who do you have this inbuilt resentment for? Who is it that you really strongly have deep dislike for, or even stronger than that perhaps? If it is one of your toxic exes, then that is something that you need to just stop and note, because the opposite of love isn't hate, it is indifference. And it is only when you get to the stage that you feel completely indifferent about that person that you can categorically say, I did it. I moved forward. I am no longer in that position of hating them. Because what does hatred actually do? Do they give a monkeys that you hate them? Probably not. Do they know? They might not. If they're not in your life anymore, they probably don't know that you hate them. And if they did, would they care? Probably not. So the only person who is being hurt by hatred is you. And I come from a place of absolutely knowing what that's like. So when John and I split up, obviously I was sad for a while, but I was angry for much longer, much longer, because of what he'd done, because he'd taken away my opportunity. He had taken away this sort of family unit that we had. He had taken away my mental well-being. He had taken away everything I thought that was going to happen. He'd taken away the fact that I hold my marriage vows really close to my heart, and that it was a real struggle for me to walk away. So he'd taken away a lot. So I really hated him for that. After the sadness had finished, I really was filled with utter loathing for what he'd done. And also because of what he'd done to our son, and because I'd been epileptic when I was a teenager, I was constantly terrified that Owen was going to end up with epilepsy as well. So for me, in my book, there was a lot to really feel very strongly about. And I did for a long time. And then when Matt and I got together, and I finally felt kind of secure in the relationship, and it was going well, and it was a much healthier relationship than I'd had with John, I started to really act out. I started to act out because actually the hatred was right inside my soul, just literally eating me up from the inside out. And that was really hard. That was really difficult. And in fact, at one point, I did then decide to get the help that I needed. I needed help to get past that hating him for what he'd done, for what he'd taken away from me. And also the fact that I was essentially going through this period of self-sabotage, that for whatever reason I didn't feel like I deserved the relationship, I didn't feel like I deserved to move on. And that was big stuff. And I was horrible. I was really horrible, particularly to Matt, because I was just like, you're a decent one and you're going to walk away from me. And I would rather be in control of that, rather than you just randomly coming in one day and going, this isn't working for me, I'm going. I thought, well, if I'm in control of that, bonkers thought process really, isn't it? If I'm in control of that, if I make that happen, then it's to do with my behaviours. It's not to do with like me. In fact, even as I'm saying this out loud, it just seems an insane thought process to have. But that was where I was. I was in this massive self-sabotage. I was in this place of real hatred. And yeah, it did lessen. It did lessen with time. It did help. But up until probably couple of weeks before I set up this group, I hadn't set up the group simply because I thought, how can I do that if I haven't got past the hatred side of things? So I had to work really hard on that, really hard. And there were certain things and certain processes that I went through, which I can absolutely go through with you in order for you to drop that hatred. But the first thing, which is the bit I'm going to give you today, is what is the learning? What did that situation give me? So for me, John gave me a child. He gave me because when I got married, looking back on it, I think I settled. I didn't think anybody was going to want to marry me. So I probably settled thinking this guy has asked, so I'm going to say yes. So actually, I then realised that I was worthy of a different kind of love, a deeper love than that went both ways. That wasn't just somebody's asked me, so I'm going to say yes. What else did he give me? I had a beautiful home for a while, and yes, obviously it was a bit upsetting to give that up, but I was happy to give it up in exchange for, you know, what the situation had given me. It's given me this. It's given me this beautiful business and these beautiful women who I'm working with all the time to help them to move on. If I didn't have a story, I couldn't do this. It would be like, I don't know, giving somebody a textbook and telling them they can learn how to swim from it. It's important that I've shared what you are going through. That's really, really vital for me. What else has it given me? Lots of opportunity. There were lots of things that I was able to do whilst I was part of that marriage in terms of work and moving around and things like that. So there were elements that, you know, I can be grateful for. But the biggest thing is that I get to do this now, and that makes me grateful every day that I can come through and help you guys to be able to move forward. So who could your story inspire? And how could you start to let go of the hatred? Where is the learning? Where is the benefit of what that person's brought you? And that can just be, they've told me and taught me how not to do it, how I don't want to be, you know, treated and what have you. So really, really, really important stuff. So have a think about it this weekend. You've got a good couple of days before I do a live again. Are you carrying hatred and resentment? Maybe. What could you do about it? Where could you sort out the learning from that? What can you be grateful for from that situation giving you? What personality traits did it start to embed for you? So have a think about that across the weekend and have a great one. Lots of love, and I will see you guys on Monday for a bit more. Take care.